Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
My name is Eli.
And my name is Jaden, and we are Yahuwah and the Torah, and this is Youth for Yah.
And last week we went over Proverbs 8, and it was wonderful. It was excellent. We had a few of you guys in there asking some questions. And it's always a great time. It's always a wonderful thing to learn about wisdom, whether you're young or you're older. Wisdom is for everyone, and it's just a wonderful thing to have, right? It's going to protect your soul. It's going to keep you out of the situations where you could lose your soul. And we are going to begin in Proverbs 9 today, but we wanted to talk a little bit about our kind of this week in general and how Yah has blessed us and why we believe He is with us. Another sign that He is with us, and so we're just going to kind of talk about it. And I'm going to begin by saying that about 3 days ago, our cows disappeared. We saw them early in the morning, and we didn't see them after that, so we went looking for them, and we did not find them. And then we found that they had broken part of the fence. And some cows will decide they're going to break fence. You don't know why. They'll just put their heads through it and they'll push through it. Nothing will happen to them. They'll just break the fence.
Yeah, and so yesterday we found the fence break, and we had followed a little trail. We saw some hoof prints and cow poop. And we tried to follow a little trail, but there wasn't a lot of things. We went all over the place, all around our land, all places they've been before and they were escaped to. And this time we couldn't find them. It took us to about till yesterday at 6 in the nighttime when it's starting to get dark around here about that time for us. And it was raining. It was pouring down rain, and we were completely soaked. And we had searched all day. We had talked to another guy who has cows near us, and he said that he had pushed them. He saw them out, and he put them back closer to our land. But we only found one of our cows, and the other 3 had gone missing. We have 4 cows, 4 adult cows. 2 of them possibly pregnant. We're not 100% sure on that. And he said that he pushed them down our land. And we went and talked to some other people around the area. They said they saw him in the morning. And then later that day, the guy who works with the cows, he said he's missing about 20 of his cows as well.
And during that, we are in what is called rainy season. It just rains consistently from right at the afternoon, right around 1 o'clock our time, all the way until I don't know, maybe 7 at night. It just rains and rains and rains, which is great for crops, great for the land. But it's a little bit of a tricky situation, because when you have pregnant cows, if the calf is in the rain for too long, it will get sick. It will get pneumonia. It will get sick because it is new, it is fresh, and it does not have the built-up immune system around the environment yet to where it's built up. So it's a very stressful situation. But we sat there and we prayed and we prayed and we prayed. All day yesterday, we prayed all night last night, and this morning Yah returned our cows. We went up and saw our neighbor, see if he had seen anything, and he said the cows came walking back and went into his corral, and he'd been waiting for us since dawn, basically, since the sun came up. They had returned, which was a great thing. So all praise be to Yah, and that's kind of where we're at in this week. We hope you guys' week is going well. We hope that you guys are doing well through everything. So let's begin in Proverbs 9, and it's honestly a shorter chapter, so we are going to try and add a little bit more context into these things, a little bit more into this sermon as we go into it. And we just want to say that we have a Telegram group. We have a group where we have youth. It's mostly for youth. Adults, if you want to get in there, feel free to get in there. But youth that has questions about the faith, we're just trying to kind of have a bond with the youth and guide them to the Torah, guide them into a future path. And if you guys have any questions, please put them below in the comments. We will be responding and acknowledging you guys as you guys come in, as you guys say hi. So any questions, any prayer requests are huge to us. We always take them very, very graciously. We always put them on our list, and we pray for them consistently. We pray for all the people. So if you guys have any prayer requests, that just let it be known so that we can pray for you guys. So all right, I'll go begin in Proverbs 9.
Proverbs 9, verse 1. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars.
Alright, so we're going to begin again, and we are going to explain wisdom. Who is wisdom? I know we've explained this almost every time, and anybody that has been keeping up is probably going to get bored of this, probably can already repeat what I'm about to say. But wisdom is the spirit of Yah. It is a friend of Yah. It is been around since the beginning, and it sits next to Yah on one of the thrones, right? He's got several spirits it talks about in the book of Enoch, and we talk about the extracurricular books and how good they are. But if you guys want to go look at Enoch, it is quite a long book, but it has so much information. It's amazing. It talks about things like the earth, how it's not a actually round thing, but actually just a plane. How it is a plane built up around waters, and there's a dome of waters. It speaks all about this in Enoch. and it speaks about a whole bunch of other things. But getting back on the path now, wisdom is a spirit of Yah. It is considered a female. It is considered a she. That's what it is called here, and that is where wisdom is. So it talks how wisdom has built the house. It has hewn out its 7 columns, and when you have 7 columns, that is like huge. And when you have a house, right? If you look at a house and you look up a house with 7 columns, columns are usually spaced out quite wide. So when you see these, it's going to be a huge house, right? She's built a huge house, and we're going to find out a little down below why she has built this, why she's built such a big house.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Verse 2. She has killed her beasts. She has mingled her wine. She
So-
has also furnished her table.
Okay, so I'm going to read out of mine. I am reading out of the Holy Scriptures. Eli is reading out of the Sefer here. And mine says, she has slaughtered her meat, and she has mixed her wine. So when someone slaughters their meat, a cow or lamb or something, it means they are going to have food, right? They're going to have a feast. When you mix your wine, you mix the food together, and you are going to have a feast. Now, why is she having this feast?
This feast is usually for her. It could be friends, definitely friends, or people she knows. She's having a feast. She invites people in. She wants you to come and dine and sit and eat with her.
It's all like Yeshua said when we look into the parables of Yeshua when he talked about the rich man and how he was having all his friends come and they did not come, and then he brought all these poor people into the feast, right? And he's like, you guys aren't prepared. You guys aren't ready for this. There's going to be a feast that wisdom is going to hold, right? Wisdom is holding a feast. And we talked about it last week, and we said that wisdom is calling out for those who will listen. Whoever will go to her will receive wisdom, right? Time to study, time to listen and learn what the Torah means and what this entire Bible means. Search through it, because the Bible instantly, because there's a lot of different things, a lot of mysteries that will be solved, right? And like Enoch, to study, right, you got to go outside the box into this, and that is what wisdom will do. Wisdom will give you the
Verse 3. Upon the highest. Whoso is simple, let him turn in here. As for him that wants understanding, she says to him, come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled.
All right. We begin with, she sends out her maidens, right? She sends out her servants, right? And why would she send out her servants, right? Because if she's having a feast, she's going to want everyone there.
Right. She wants to bring people in, and when you're having a feast, you send invitations out, and they probably not like a mailing system like we would have nowadays, but she send them out. She go invite people.
We have here a kind of an image of basically messengers, right? People that are like going on saying, you're invited, you're invited, you're invited, and she's going out and sending all of her people saying, you are invited to this thing, right? If you will listen and you'll come, you will get wisdom, right? This is a feast of wisdom. Wisdom is a very caring spirit. It wants people to be saved, and not saved in the Christian manner, which is you say a prayer once and you are saved forever and your faith can never be shaken again. No, because when you go over those prayers, right, those aren't the prayers that will save your life, right? When you say it one time at 8 years old and you live like the world, you've honestly, nothing has changed at all. You have not changed your spirit. You will change when you meet Yeshua. And there's a pastor, he's a Christian pastor, his name is Paul Washer, and he goes over this kind of a story, right, where he talks about he's late for this sermon he's going to do. He's got this huge message coming up, and he's late. He's 40 minutes late, right, and all the people are sitting there. And he gets up there, and he's late, and the head pastor goes, Mr. Washer, you're late. What's going on? He goes, what happened was my car tire, the nut fell off, and I had changed my tire, and the nut fell in the road, and I got hit by a logging truck. And he says, are you insane? If you got hit by a logging truck, you would be changed, right? You'd be much different. So when we see that it is much different, when you actually receive wisdom, when you receive the Ruach HaKodesh, your life is going to change forever. You're not going to live the same way, because you know that when you sin, right, when you know the Torah, when you know what the Torah is, you are not going to a sinful manner, right? That is change your ways around.
All right, verse 6.
What simple ones and live? What?
So simple people can get very tricked very easily. Sometimes simple people can be foolish. They can be very foolish people, and you don't want to be people because they're not seeking Yahuwah, they're not seeking wisdom, and the foolish people could be doing evil things. That is what a fool is.
And a kind of an example for this is not to say that Adam and Eve were like foolish, right? But they were very simple. They had no knowledge of this earth, right? And they kept getting tricked. They got tricked over and over by the devil himself, and they got completely demoralized. They were destroyed so many times because they were simple, right? And that's what it means to leave the simple. You need to leave that simple mindset of once saved, always saved, that you can live how you want, because if you are simple, you're going to get tricked by the devil. The devil's going to put you in a situation, and you will lose your soul to the eternal hellfire where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth.
The grand and no pearls before swine, thank you for joining us.
Verse 7. He that reproves a scorner gets to himself shame, and he that rebukes a wicked man gets himself a blot.
They did actually not get tricked once, no pearls before swine. If you actually read the book of Adam and Eve, it corresponds exactly with the Bible, and it's one of the extracurricular books like Jasher or Jubilees or Enoch, and it talks about how Hasatan took them forever and ever, right? He goes off into them and he becomes an old person and says, I am one of the people that Yah had created, and he tricked them into going to where they should not have gone. They were trying to get back into the garden, they were trying all these things, and Hasatan kept tricking them and kept destroying them.
Okay.
Right.
He that reproves a scorner gets to himself shame. A blot.
Alright, so they're a scorner, you know that they hate the Bible, and you go say, hey man, you shouldn't be doing this, you're doing, laugh at you. They hate the Bible, and nothing happens, you just get laughed at. It's like to a brick wall. There was someone built a brick wall in the middle of this path. Your brick wall, you're in the wrong path, you need to move. Nothing's gonna happen. You basically wait. Teach people, but if they are so set in their ways, they will not change. You cast pearls before swine.
Here in the chat,
yes.
Pearls before swine. That's what it says. Do not cast pearls before swine. And to try and change someone, you have to do it almost in a certain manner. There's almost a certain. Everyone is different. Everyone will see the message different, but you can't go up to someone and say, "Hey, you're living. You're ruining your life. You're going to end up in hell." Or they're going to instantly say, "What? You're crazy." Like he said, talking to a brick wall. You tell this brick wall, the wall's never going to move. The wall is there forever. It's someone breaks it down.
He will.
So if you reprove a scorner, nothing happens. You basically, nothing's gonna be good for you. He will hate you. If this person is a foolish person who hates the word, then if you try to teach them or tell them, hey, you're being very wise, as foolish as you're sinning, they're gonna hate you more. They're gonna hate you more for trying to change their ways that they do not like.
You are losing sound.
That could be. So you got here.
What do we got here for settings? Everything is on and correct.
It'll speak a little louder. Hopefully, you don't lose it.
Are you? All right. We hope you guys can hear us. Can you hear us now, or are we still cutting out? I keep losing sound as well. So it must be us. So we must be losing it. Here, plug that. Right there. Plug those in and see if you got anything. All right, 1 second, guys. We are going to see.
It could be our internet.
It might be our internet down. So.
Or just says better.
Better. All right. All right. So it might have had a bit of a
bump.
Yeah, a bump in the internet. All right.
Okay, so verse 9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning.
All right. We are going to basically give an example here, because if you reprove someone, like we said, if you reprove a person that is living in sin, if you are going to get laughed at, you're going to get mocked. It's like anything. If you try to tell someone, you're going to do this, you're doing this wrong, everyone's going to reject it, because there's a certain manner in which you have to do it, right? Yeshua did not speak to people saying you're going to hell, right? He gave parables to people to learn from. He showed things. He showed love to people, and that's what you have to do to change someone. And someone that is in the Torah, right, that is fully accepting the Torah, someone that is fully in, hey, that's not right, you are you are doing this, you are using this incorrectly in the Bible, right? You're misinterpreting this. They're going to research it, right? And if you do it correctly to a person that is in the Torah, they are going to come back and say, wow, you were right, I understand now. Thank you for showing me the light. And there's just a certain way you have to teach people. There's a certain way you have to train people, because if you teach someone that is of the world, that is trapped and snared by this world of Hasatan, you are not going to be able to just break them out. There was a lot of places in the Bible that did not accept the people because they were so worldly, they were so entrapped by Hasatan's ways. They loved the world more than they loved Yeshua. If you look at the apostles, Yeshua even told them, if the people will not accept you by the end of it, you can do your best, do everything you can, right? Never give up on these people. But by the end of your time there, if they do not listen, if they are still mocking you and cursing at you, then shake your foot off, shake the dust off your foot, and it will be a sign of them, right? It will be more peaceful for Sodom and Gomorrah than it will be for those people. And that's what the way you have to look at life when you look for someone that is hating on you.
Caden is currently talking. Eli reads, and I am Jaden.
Alright, verse 10. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
This is a huge verse. Now, this is we kind of have a shirt. We all have a shirt here that says Proverbs 9. We're not wearing it currently, but we have a shirt that says Proverbs 9:10, which is the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of holy is understanding. And right, so if you fear Yahuwah, that's where you begin searching for wisdom. Because if you fear Yahuwah, you are going to be reading His Word, studying, trying to get closer to Yahuwah, and you will be searching for this wisdom. You want to be someone in the Torah. And wisdom's laws are of the Torah. She wouldn't go anything against Yahuwah as Yahuwah's friend. She wants you to follow the Torah. She wants you to stay on the straight and narrow. She has wisdom to help you stay on the straight and narrow so you don't go off of the sinner. You don't become the sinner, or you don't lose your way. And it says the fear of Yahuwah, but mine is the reverence of Yahuwah. And what is the way we can reverence Yahuwah? What is the way that we can begin our path of
obeying His words? I would say praising His name and praying to Him.
And what is His He told us to? What is the Torah, the Bible? He gave some examples. What happens when you break the Torah, the cursings and the blessings. And for those that don't know the Torah, it's the first 5 books of the Bible. It's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it is basically a guidebook. It's instructions all the way from the beginning of Genesis, where we told to bear fruit and multiply and don't drink the blood, all the way to the end where He says that you will love Yahuwah with all your heart, mind, and soul. All those commands are wrapped up into those 5 books. And that is where the beginning of wisdom is actually searching out the commands of Yah, because this world has world. It is a do as you will against any that Yahuwah wants your obedience, and the way you can is right, and passing around the money plate is actually doing what He says, right? And His laws are not hard. The laws are instruction guide. It's more of a instructions to help you in this earth. It's more of instructions to give you blessings, because there are many blessings that come with this Torah. There are many blessings that come with doing what He has told us. But that said, there's also many cursings that come for those who do not follow Torah, who know that they should be in the Torah and do not follow it. Because you look at the Torah and all throughout the Bible, right? That's why the Israelites were all
so many times they were exiled, they were punished. Yahuwah told them if they didn't follow it, and they kept falling away, they started worshiping idols, going astray with the foreign people. And that's why wisdom keeps us on this path of the narrow, keeps us away from these foreign people. The Gentiles that like to break the law do not keep the law. And so the wisdom wants to keep us on this narrow path. And when we follow this narrow path, wisdom will be like, hey, you know this is wrong, you know the Torah. And if you're falling off this narrow path, she will try to bring us back.
So the fear of Yahuwah, so basically the honoring of His word is the reverence of Yahuwah, which leads to wisdom, because like we said at the beginning of this video, which is if you take your time to study the Bible, to look at the Bible, and that is the beginning of wisdom. And then the knowledge of the holy. And what is holy? What did He call holy throughout His Bible? What did this entire Bible, what did He call holy? His word.
Verse 11.
Okay, Eli is
15.
15. I always think it's 12 to 14, somewhere there. He's 15.
He's 15, and Jade and I are twins, and we are 18.
Alright, Alright, verse 11. For by me your days shall be multiplied, and the years of your life shall be increased.
Alright, now why is that our years will be increased if we fear Yahuwah?
Okay, there's a few things. We have a lot of blessings, and there's a lot of stuff. Because Yahuwah says you will live longer if you obey your parents. And if you aren't sinning and breaking his commands, doing all these wicked things, you may live a long life. You may not end up dying for sins you commit. If you try stealing from someone, you could end up dead. They could protect their property. Something could happen to you because you break the Torah. And Yahuwah is trying to keep you on a safe path. He has safety for this. He talks not to kill your neighbor. Don't do this. Whatever you do could end you up in very dangerous stuff. And it may not be death on this earth.
Here's a way to look at it here is, your parents, you have a parent that says, don't play in the road. There are cars that pass. And you say, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to play in the road by a car. And that would be the cursing of the Torah, right? That would be the cursing. And Torah, for those that don't know, is the Hebrew word for instruction. Instructions to guide and to follow. And when we have these Torah, we're not going to get hit by the car. We're not going to end up killed, right? We are going to, the blessings of that will be life. We'll live longer, right? We'll live into our old age, we'll live into our elderly age where we'll be telling our kids don't play in the road because we know it's dangerous not to play in the road because we obeyed the Torah of our family. And that's what it's like for Yah. He says, don't kill your neighbor. Why? Because if you kill your neighbor, someone's going to come out for vengeance for you. You've taken a soul off this earth. You've shed blood. And that is what Yah hates. Yah hates the shedding of blood. He said it so many times. I do not want the shedding of innocent blood, but rather your obedience. And that is what he wants. He does not want to be always, that's why he sent Yeshua. He did not want sacrifices. He said he did not thrive in the sacrifices. He was not happy with the sacrifices. He said he would rather have obedience.
Verse 12. If you be wise, you shall be wise for yourself. But if you scorn, you alone shall bear it.
What does that mean? If you become wise, you have become wise for yourself.
When you become wise for yourself, become a wiser person to be a more know better, keep yourself safer. You deserve what you will get for that. Because if someone says you should follow the Torah, you should do this, and you laugh at them, you will deserve what you get for the punishment you end up. And Yahuwah says in his Bible, he says it in the books, he says, everyone by the end will hear of the word. So everyone should know of the word.
Another way to look at that is, he's like, when you become wise for yourself, you become wise for yourself because you're saving your own soul. You're protecting your own soul. When you are in the Torah and someone says, hey, let's go rob and attack someone, right? And you know the Torah says not to steal. You are going to save your soul because what we say here is that how much is your soul worth? How much is your soul worth for this sin, right? And your soul is never worth the sin. It is never at any point worth the sin. There's a lot of times and trials and temptations you're going to get into, and you always have to remember, how much is my soul worth for this? And anything, like it says like Paul has said in the New Testament, if you one bit of the Torah, if you break even one commandment, you're guilty of breaking it all. And when you become wise for yourself, you are going to save your soul. You're not going to put yourself in the ability to sin. You're going to stay away from it. You are going to be holy in all things. You are going to write the Torah, and you're going to write on your heart, mind, and soul.
Right. When you are following the Torah and you are trying for wisdom, you are striving to live a sinless life. And that's what every one of us should strive for. We should strive to obey our parents. We should strive to do what Yahuwah says. We should strive to love him with all our heart. And if you are not loving with all your heart, you need to love him with all your heart, because that was the most important command.
And when you scorn, you alone will bear it, because if you are the person that was told the truth, if you were the person that was told the Torah, and you mock this person, you laugh at this person, you say, the Torah is done away with, I'm going to do as I want, there's going to be a day when you go up to the kingdom, and Yahushua is sitting there, and he says, who are you? I never knew you. You never kept what you were told to do.
Right,
Go, depart from me, leave me.
Of lawlessness.
He says, you work of lawlessness, depart from me. I never knew you. And that's a scary thing to hear. You live your life as you think you would. You're just going to plead the blood of Jesus as people, they can do what they want, and that is not true. You are free will, but everything has a consequence to it. Everything either has a, and if you are living the sinful, whether Yah punishes you and tries to set you straight on this earth, or you end up hellfire.
Verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing. For she sits at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city.
Alright, well, we have something that says a foolish woman is loud. So why would he go from revere Yahuwah to a foolish woman is loud? He is trying to protect his children and his sons from getting into these situations. He is trying to tell them, and he wrote this for his children. In the beginning of Proverbs 1, he says, my son, listen to my words, listen to everything, because it is important that you know these things. It is important that you listen to them.
Right, and this could be also for a, he states woman, but it also could be for a man as well.
A few more things where it's more likely that this could be a woman. Here we go. We are in.
For she sits at a door of the in the high place of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn hither. And as for him that wants understanding, she says to him.
Alright, we have wisdom who has built the house, made a feast, right, in the beginning of this. And then we have almost anti-wisdom, right? We have someone that is going to try and destroy your soul, take your soul in any possible way, whether it is through a wicked act or something here that is sinful, because it says here that a foolish person, right, a person with no sense and no knowledge, a person with only bad intentions of this world are going to end up in hell, right? The people that are in this world are going to try and get the people with no understanding with join these acts.
And passengers who go right on their ways.
Oh,
passing by or somebody walking by.
Here's what it says in my to those who pass by, who go straight. People who are walking by. She's calling out saying, come into my house, I want to teach you wisdom, I have all these. So we'll go in and we have wisdom, we have anti try and make you lose your soul. Here, come on in here. It's good for you. It's the people that are passing by, walking by. It's the same thing, but the roles are reversed now. It's the anti-wisdom trying to take the souls instead of wisdom getting the souls.
Right, yeah, the passengers are just basically the people that are walking by. It's just the Sefer is a little harder translation to understand, where Yah Scriptures is a little easier to read.
Verse 17. Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
It could be our internet. Internet seems a little spotty today.
Yeah, internet is seeming spotty on this thing, where it's usually not. Okay. We're almost done, so we're gonna replay it when we're done, and we'll check on it. If it's not working, and if it's breaking, we will try and re-record it.
Okay. Verse 17. Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
Okay, now these are things like, what is stolen water, right? It's like, if you look back in the day, they had wells, and they would steal from their neighbors' wells. Like in Abraham's days, the Philistines would go off, and they would take all of Abraham's water. Why have you taken my wells? And this stolen thing is for you to sin, right? This is what this person is doing, and this is what this person is trying to take someone that with no understanding of the Torah. And this is why Solomon says it's so important to have wisdom, because you're not going to be tricked by this. You're not going to be put in this situation where it says this sin, this is good.
Yeah, we are located in South America.
Verse 18. But he knows that the Rephaim are there, but he knows not that the Rephaim are there, and that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. And Rephaim, it can be.
I believe that's the dead, right?
Yeah, dead. So Rephaim can also be. I'm gonna reread that in mine real quick. Who is simple? I'm starting in 16. And as for him who lacks heart, she are the dead are there. Her guests are that is trying to get the new person that does not understand, that has no knowledge of the Torah or wisdom, to discern that this is going to get them ensnared and get them entrapped, that she's already taken the souls, right? The
There's already people that
there's
are
already he does not know that she's already taken all these souls from other people because he did not discern that this was a wicked thing, right? Stolen water is sweet and bread in secret is pleasant. She is referring to deceitful things, right? If you are, like, you steal, you lie. She's talking about these things that are good. She's trying to get this person to sin, and this is why Solomon wrote these things. He had been through all these things, and that's the best people you can learn from is experience.
Right, and that's why we should really listen to our parents and understand our parents, because
they have all the experience. They build all of the experiences.
Right. Yeah, because our parents have been through so much, and if we don't listen to them, then it's very evil of us because they have so much experience, and we're just like, no, that's not right. We won't listen. But so you guys don't have to experience that if you listen to your parents.
All right. So you asked if
we heard about the
Mandela effect. I think like 5 or 6 years ago we heard about something like that, where there was something with the lion and the lamb, or the child and the lion.
I think that, yeah.
And it was actually more related to like people actually not knowing what it actually said, where it said like the lion and the lamb will all lead together, will all sleep together, and the child will lead them. And I think people got mixed up with like a song where it's like the lion and the lamb or something like that. Yah says he was like nothing will change one jot or one tittle, and if you look at the comma in the Hebrew language, change until the earth passes away.
It seems like everything's still the same. If you have any change
video about it, we might just try and figure it out, because there's a lot of different translations people use nowadays, and there's a lot of things people don't remember from their childhood where they didn't have it memorized, or they didn't know how it was actually written, so they remembered it in a different ways.
Right, and yeah, if you go from one translation, you go from NIV and read something, it's going to be quite a bit different in the KJV, because the words are just changed, it's harder to understand, and I don't think much has changed. I don't think anything was ever changed, but maybe it was. Yehoshua became the human, and he lived the Torah because he followed all the commands, and he gave us.
And it states that, it says, not one jot, but all the Bible was wrapped around the Torah. It was all based around the Torah, and Yah's not going to let his word change. There's nothing that's going to let him change the word for the people to be deceived, right? Or how else would the people understand what he would want, right? If Yah had people, we would have to go like, we would never know what it said if they changed the thing. If he says, people got rid of the Torah, right? If we had the Mandela effect here and people decided they were going to change the Torah forever, and it said, go kill your neighbors, everyone would be killing their neighbors, right? No one would understand what the Torah actually is. No one would understand the Bible, and Yah's not going to let his people be deceived like that. He's not going to let the people that are diligently seeking him be deceived. All right.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeshua said, I did not come to abolish the law. Right at the beginning of John, the writer of John talks about how Yeshua came down in fulfillment of sacrifice to fulfill what was written in the Torah, because throughout the Torah where it says, I will send my son to save the Torah and the prophets. That's what it meant to fulfill it. Alright, we have. What will happen to those who change part of the Amos? Evan, look it up, please. Amos 8:11.
I will look at it in this.
Look at both versions here. Amos 8:11. Alright. Alright, here we go. Amos 8:11 says, See, days are coming, declares the Adon Yahuwah, that I shall send a hunger in the land, not a hunger for bread, nor a thirst for water, but for hearing of the words of Yahuwah. And that is very true. That's what prophecy is saying, that people are going to be hunting down the Torah. There are a lot of people nowadays that are brand new into the Torah that didn't used to be, right? The Torah was a very unheard of thing for most people in the world, but now it's a more common thing nowadays because Yahuwah is opening the eyes of the people towards the Torah. He is letting them be able to see it. That's why Yehoshua said, "Blessed are those who have eyes to see and ears to hear." And he has hidden it from the wise, because the people nowadays are seeing it. He has opened the eyes to those who see the Torah, and those who see the Torah and will be able to understand it will be blessed.
Right, yeah, a lot of people, some people do it, some people won't. People that really want to change their ways and know more. Like Caden, he talked to somebody before, and he said he's been seeking change, because he knows that the Christian religion isn't right, but he didn't know what to do. So Caden ministered to him, and he said he was going to change his ways and start getting into Torah, because he was ready, he was hungering for this change.
Yeah, there are a lot of people in this world that are hungry for the Torah, and if anyone, like we said, if you talk with love to these people about the Torah, if you find a way to open the conversation to people, they will be able to open their hearts. They will have an open mind to this Torah, because there's so many people that are stuck in doctrines and they cannot get out. But if time to minister them, because that's what so much to harvest, but there are so few workers. Because changing the world towards the Torah, towards that Yahuwah wants us to. Important thing. It's the most important mission of all of our lives, is to save the soul. Do it right as the Christians do it, which okay, you're saved because nothing changed, and they walk around thinking that they can live how they want without any repercussions.
Right, and yeah, everyone, those who follow commands are definitely blessed. We are definitely blessed here. Our lives, we strive for righteousness, where we are not trying to be of the world, and Yahuwah is pleased with righteousness. He does not like what the world has become. The world has become a very wicked place, a very Torah-less place.
And now let's not jump ahead here, but the Torah is not going to be an easy walk. It's not, in life, it's not an easy walk. That's the thing Hassan hates the most. He talks about in Revelation that he wages war against those who keep the Torah of our Messiah, who are truly walking on. Hasatan, the devil himself, will war. We've seen it so many times. We look through Job, we look through praise Yahuwah, and they can. The devil was trying to change their ways time through a stressful another victory for him, and all his demons are. Look, another soul from Yah. That is what this world is. It's a war. As we get closer before Yahushua comes back, because we are very close. We are in the end days. This is the last generation, for those who know what I'm talking about, and this is the war on souls. And if you can save the souls of the people around you, your family, the ones you love, just reach out to them, talk about it, mention it to them until you can have a full-on conversation, explain to them what you know, whether you are a young one under parents, or whether you're parents that has other family members that need to know about the Torah, that think they are saved and you are worried about their soul. That is the utmost importance, to save the souls, and that's why there's such a hunger for it, because there's going to be people with open ears to it. There are going to be people that are willing to listen. Alright, so that was the end of the Proverbs 9 here, and we thank you guys for joining us. If anyone has any more questions, let us know. We are about to sign off here. The internet is looking a little spotty than normal, so if we are cutting out, we're really sorry.
If you guys have any questions or prayer requests, it's a great time to leave them in the comments. Now you can leave them in the comments afterwards.
I believe the description. If you guys want to join that, you can respond to the questions people have. We're there to help the people out. People there, a lot of people with different things to learn. We'll go through it over, and it's a really great thing to have many people there that are willing to follow the Torah, that are walking on the path, seeking righteousness. So, thank you guys for joining us. We hope you guys have a blessed evening or morning, depending on which side of the world you are on. And if you guys have any prayer requests, again, please put them in the comments. Your guys' prayer requests mean a lot to us. They mean so much. We put them on a list and we pray for them all the time. And that we are praying that your miracle is done that you need. The situation that you're in Yah will guide you out of it. All right, guys, read your Bibles, stay on the path, pray, seek for wisdom. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Thank you all for joining us.
Shalom.